Thank you for tuning in to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast, a no judgment zone podcast that covers lifestyle, entertainment, news, and sports. Even though KC doesn't watch sports, but these are minor details. By the way, he reads tarot cards too. Yes, I really mean it. He reads tarot cards too. And now, the host you've tuned in for, KC Phoenix.
Welcome to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast. I am, of course, your host, KC Phoenix. And yeah, here we are talking about a meteor explosion. I don't know if this is an omen of the new year or what. They're saying it was a meteor explosion. My spidey sense is saying, no, that's not it. But whatever. I'm using the New York Post article because the New York Post is my preferred newspaper over some other newspapers or news sites, I guess you could say. So we're going to go over this right quick. This shouldn't be too long because I have some other things to do this morning, but I wanted to at least give you this story. This came across my phone, I think the 2nd of January or the 3rd, and I was like, yeah, I want to cover this. Obviously, I didn't get to do too much because I was doing the tarot readings for all the signs over the weekend, and then I uploaded them. So yeah, that took time. So that's where we're at on this. But before I go any further, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. As for this, first time reading this article, I'm going to play the video and hopefully you'll be able to hear it for those. I mean, those who are watching this video, you can see me, you can see like what's going on. But for my podcast listeners, I'm on the page. I'm about to play the video, blah, 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 blah. All right, here we go.
Of a loud boom heard and felt across the area, the National Weather Service has been using satellite data and the process of elimination to try and track down the cause. Channel 11's Pete DeLuca joins us. And Pete, what are they telling you right now?
Ryan, good evening. The National Weather Service is saying that loud boom was not caused by an earthquake. They've also ruled out thunder and lightning. So what did cause it? Well, their latest theory is that it was a meteor exploding in the atmosphere.
Okay, pausing it right quick. Just for Pennsylvania, I was curious. I was like, okay, have there ever been any earthquakes in Pennsylvania before? Because I don't know of any. So I went to this okay, hold on. Let me get my words together here. I went to this official PA local government site, Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. Now, this says, in Pennsylvania, 1998, the largest earthquake ever recorded in Pennsylvania occurred in the region of Pymatuning Lake in the northwestern part of the state. The 5.2 magnitude earthquake caused minor structural damage, but had significant effects on the local groundwater system. The 5.8 magnitude Central Virginia earthquake of 2011 was widely felt in Pennsylvania, though damages here were minor. It was the largest recorded quake in the central and eastern United States since 1944. Smaller earthquakes with epicenters in adjoining states have also been felt in Pennsylvania. The earthquake catalog and epicenter map of Pennsylvania, published by the Pennsylvania Geological Survey, contains detailed information on historic seismic events from 1724 to July 31st, 2003. All right. So that's confirming for me that, yes, there were actual earthquakes in Pennsylvania before, whether they originated in Pennsylvania or whether they were in other states like Virginia and then they were felt in Pennsylvania. So it's possible. I still don't believe it. But let's get back to what this guy is saying.
I was hoping for a much quieter start to the new year.
Cheryl Werber reacting to the loud boom heard and felt throughout Allegheny County and beyond late Saturday morning.
I live in the city, so, I always hear something outside, but this was a little different.
Werber felt the boom around 11:30 a.m. in Squirrel Hill. Others reported witnessing it from the North Hills to Carnegie to the South Hills, Greensburg, Westmoreland County, and beyond. Some saying it shook their houses. Werber says her experience wasn't quite that intense.
I started seeing stuff on social media like, did you feel the earthquake? I'm like, I guess that was an earthquake?
The National Weather Service says it was not an earthquake, but speculation began pouring in on social media. The National Weather Service also ruled out thunder and lightning as a possible cause. Their theory is a meteor entering the atmosphere and exploding.
It could happen over the ocean. It could happen anywhere. You can't really predict when they happen, but that's all we can give as an explanation of why was that happening.
The NWS says this satellite loop shows activity over Washington County that could be the meteor. The organization is still not 100% sure, but says a meteor explosion over West Virginia in September caused similar activity.
We thought, that could have been maybe a meteor falling to the atmosphere and exploding, and that could create this flash and maybe a boom at the same time. So that's probably what it was.
Now, the National Weather Service is still looking into the cause of that loud boom heard earlier today, but tonight they are saying there's no cause for concern for anyone at home. Reporting live tonight, Pete DeLuca, Channel 11.
Okay. Now that you've heard that, this is the thing. And also, the title of this article, New Year's Day Meteor Explosion over Pittsburgh was as powerful as 30 tons of TNT. I will read this article, but I'm telling you now, I'm not buying this. I really, really am not. I'm not buying this for a few reasons. One reason I'm not buying this is because something that is as powerful as 30 tons of TNT. For those who don't know what a ton is, it's like 2,000 pounds. So you're saying 60,000 pounds of TNT is how powerful this was. A meteor coming into the atmosphere. I feel like I'm missing something. Like, that didn't show up on anyone's radar. Anyone's radar that a meteor was coming into the atmosphere. No one's radar. Didn't show up. I mean, NASA is present, but I'm not talking about just NASA. How about Space Force? That's one of the reasons that it was created. Somebody was sleeping on the job. That's my whole point. I don't believe it was a meteor. I believe there was some type of testing going on, because they just said that this happened back in September in what state did they say? Was it Virginia or some other place? So if this happened before and they're like, oh, it was a meteor explosion, why are we not catching these meteors? Any other time they always want to do this thing where it's like, oh, this huge meteor is headed towards Earth, but it's gonna miss Earth because but if it were to hit Earth, it would be the end. And it's like, okay, so you're keeping track of that type of stuff, but you're not keeping track of the meteors that actually enter into Earth's orbit. There's not any type of technology to pick up if something smaller is heading towards Earth. I'm not buying it. I'll go ahead and read the article right quick. You heard the report, but I'll read the article. It says NASA has confirmed that an earth-shattering boom felt in the Pittsburgh area on New Year's Day was a meteor, still not buying it, which exploded with an energy blast equivalent to about 30 tons of TNT. The space agency said a bolide, an extremely bright meteor that explodes in the atmosphere, was responsible for the loud boom that shook the area. A nearby infrasound station registered the blast wave from the meteor as it broke apart. The data enabled an estimate of the energy at 30 tons of TNT, NASA said on Facebook. If we make a reasonable assumption as to the meteor's speed, about 45,000 miles per hour, we can ballpark the object's size at about a yard in diameter with a mass close to half a ton. Not feeling it. Had it not been cloudy, the fireball would have been easily visible in the daylight sky. Crude estimate indicates about 100 times the brightness of the full moon, NASA added. Shannon Heffron, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service, told the Tribune Review that satellite data recorded a flash over Washington County about 11:30 a.m. Saturday, and that officials believed it was due to a meteor falling through the atmosphere. Heffron said a similar event occurred September 17th in Hardee County, West Virginia. Allegheny County officials tweeted Saturday that 911 officials had received reports from South Hills and other areas about the disturbance. Okay, and they're showing the pictures and stuff. Something's not adding up to me. I can't put my finger on it. And I know some people like, KC, you're probably turning into a conspiracy theorist and all this other stuff. No, I just need somebody to make something make sense. If something is coming into the Earth's atmosphere hot, especially to the United States, where's the notification? That's my whole thing. Where's the notification? We have all of these radars and everything else. Where's the notification? Because you would think we would pick this stuff up. Again, I don't believe it. I don't care what NASA says. I honestly believe there was some type of testing going on. I believe it was testing or something else. And the reason I say that because our government, when I say our, I'm talking about the United States. I live in the United States. The United States government is a piece of work. Let me just say that. And they have done some things where they're like, oh no, it was this. And then if anybody's like, well, no, we kind of feel it might have been this, or we kind of feel it might have been that. And they're like, oh no, you're a conspiracy theorist. And then, you know, a little bit later, it comes out that the people who were saying, no, we believe it was this, or we believe it was that, those people were right and the government was lying. My thing is, going back to what I said before, if something is coming into the Earth's atmosphere, and really over any country, but especially over an advanced nation, well, the United States isn't that advanced. That can be debated, but that's another story for another day. Over a nation that has the technology to determine what's coming into the atmosphere. And it's amazing after the fact. We're hearing this after the fact. And that's just like, well, yeah, on the radar, according to what we have seen on the radar, yeah, it probably was a meteor explosion. Okay, so wait a second. Let me get this straight. You're saying that your radar picked it up, everything that happened, and based off of what your radar picked up, you can come to the conclusion that that's what it was. All right, if your radar picked it up, why didn't we get an alert before? What? I mean, you know what? I need someone to help me make it make sense. Between Space Force and NASA, I feel like these people only have one job. That's to handle space. That's it. And one would think that you would add this to your scope of support to monitor what's going on in space. Meaning, if any meteors are in the vicinity of the United States of America, even if it's a meteor as small as a car, or whatever, even if it's a little itty bitty meteor I don't care how small it is. It can be as small as this bottle of water. Whatever it is that is foreign, coming from space, one would think we would want to pick it up. I'm just saying, you never know. But like I said before, I don't believe it was a meteor. I think it was something else. We're just saying it was a meteor. Just like with the whole new UFO thing and everything else. So, yeah, I just wanted to read the story. You heard what they said. It happened in Pennsylvania. I don't know if this is an omen for 2022, but this is what we have to deal with. Is meteors exploding outside of cities. And that's why I'm like, when they had said, oh, well, this wasn't the first time a meteor exploded outside the city. Okay, well, if you're telling me this isn't the first time that this has happened, when it happened the first time, wouldn't that be the moment then when you add it to everyone's scope of support with Space Force and NASA and whoever else deals with space, that, okay, meteors could explode over cities. Let's go ahead and add this to our scope of support so we can better monitor meteors. Got nothing. So now we have a meteor allegedly exploding over a city in or a town over in Pennsylvania. Okay. If you want to buy that, that's fine. I guess. I don't see it. But that's just me. All right, let me go ahead and get going. I got things to do. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Until next time, be blessed.